I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This one's wife. She cannot let go. Camilla Tominey writes in The Telegraph, "This one's wife cannot let go of the royal family as much as she claims she wants to." And indeed, that neatly sums up the position of this hypocritical narcissist. On the one hand, I don't like you, you were nasty to me, I'm the victim in all of this, leave me alone, I'm off to seek some privacy by plastering myself all over magazines and newspapers whilst living in California. Oh, but hang on a second. Without you, I'm nothing. So actually, I need to maintain some form of contact with you. I need to keep using my title. In fact, I'm going to start trading off my title's name more and more and more by reminding you of it repeatedly and creating a new website. This is the behaviour of the narcissist that demonstrates their hypocrisy. Tominey writes, what to make of Harry and this one's wife's latest rebrand? Well, it's certainly very regal. When they're in their leisure wear, reading out their WhatsApps from William and Kate on Netflix, they're H and Meg. But when they're shaping the future through business and philanthropy, they're very much Prince Harry and this one's wife, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And don't you forget it. We're talking white capital letters in a majestic font on a navy blue background. Serious stuff, folks. Why Harry is Prince Harry, but this one's wife is just plain old this one's wife, rather than Duchess this one's wife, is not explained to us mere mortals. Perhaps the former actress would have preferred Princess this one's wife, or maybe Duchess is just a bit too Downton Abbey Wallis Simpson for the down-to-earth American's liking. As we learn later, the wholesome mother of two went to an all-girls Catholic school, which she continues to support as an alumna. Oh, to be in one of this one's wife guest assemblies. Kidnapped by the monarchy. How I spent a summer at Sir Elton John's Nice mansion without access to my passport. Naturally, there is no reference to the dreaded Windsors, beyond the conspicuous use of a royal coat of arms, which is this one's wife's, not Harry's, obvs. The purposeful prominence of the crest once again lays bare the contradiction at the heart of the couple's quest to find their freedom. Pausing there, this is no surprise. The narcissist is the eternal hypocrite, and this one's wife is no different. Harry, she continues, once accused William and Charles of being trapped in the monarchy, but as sovereign and heir to the throne, that's surely an occupational hazard. What's Harry and this one's wife's excuse? There is absolutely no reason for these non-working royals to carry on using their titles, not least with an entire website dedicated to telling the world that they are much, much more than mere royalty. Humanitarian, military veteran, mental health advocate and environmental campaigner Harry, we are told, has dedicated his adult life to advancing causes that he is passionate about and that advance permanent change for people and places. This one's wife, meanwhile, is a feminist and champion of human rights and gender equity, with a lifelong advocacy for women and girls. Wow. So while Harry only started his philanthropy in adulthood, this one's wife was doing it as a baby. Impressive. Pausing there, this highlights the magical thinking and grandiosity of this one's wife, that she describes herself as a lifelong advocate for women and girls. She isn't. It's all about her, but the delusion of her narcissism compels her to believe, and she really does believe this, that she supports women and girls, even though much of her behaviour demonstrates that she doesn't, and actually she's wholly reliant upon men to advance herself. She is also apparently a major advocate for family care, which may come as a surprise to her estranged father and the rest of the Markle family. She doesn't appear to have cared much about in years. Speaking of clans, the racist royals obviously do not merit a mention, although we are reminded of this unwelcoming horror show of an institution in the reference to Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, saddled for life by their parents with an ongoing association to their white supremacist colonialist forebears. I guess it means they won't have any problems booking tables at expensive restaurants, although, if recent experience is anything to go by, being called prince or princess doesn't seem to guarantee you a front row seat at the Super Bowl. And what of the content of Archwell, the sequel, which features a photograph of the gleeful couple smiling and clapping, but with half of Harry's balding head cropped off? One imagines that this one's wife did most of the proofreading as well as picking the pictures. Charity should not just be a handout, but handheld, we are advised. And by the way, it was this one's wife, not Harry, who came up with this catchy riff on Oxfam's "Don't just give them fish, but the means to catch it" slogan, once again demonstrating that she's copied somebody else's work because there isn't an original thought in that woman's head. Character trait acquisition. The blurb confirms their status, not just as paragons of charitable virtue, but best-selling authors, with Spare described as a memoir of Harry's life, told with compassion, vulnerability, and unflinching honesty, which was the publishing industry's fastest-selling non-fiction book, selling more than 1.4 million copies on its first day of publication. Think Diary of a Wimpy Kid meets War and Peace. This one's wife's description as one of the most influential women in the world is rather more lofty, magical thinking, grandiosity. The evidence for this claim appears to be that the author of the children's picture book, The Bench, featured in Time magazine's Most Influential People, the Financial Times' 25 Most Influential Women, Variety Power of Women, and British Vogue's Vogue 25, although not curiously, the final issue by outgoing editor Edward Enninful, published last week, featuring 40 female legends. Ouch. The summary goes to great lengths, 588 words to Harry's 340, to remind everyone that she is a great deal more than just his wife. Pausing there, except she isn't. The only reason that she's known is because she's this one's wife. This one's wife's podcast, Archetypes, is mentioned in its capacity as being number 1 in 47 countries, not as a one-hit wonder that was axed after one season. Unsurprisingly, the word grifter, which was used to describe the pair by Spotify mogul Bill Simmons, does not feature on the website at all. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the rebrand, however, is the tagline on the Archwell Foundation page: "Show up, do good." While an admirable rallying cry to the masses, visitors to Sussex.com could arguably be forgiven for wondering when exactly, apart from the commendable Invictus Games, Harry and this one's wife have shown up and done good since leaving the royal family. Indeed, which once again demonstrates her hypocrisy, which is, I'll come up with some strapline, bandying around as part of my facade management, but I won't actually live up to it. Because once again, if the narcissist can get the prime aims by talking about it, the narcissist doesn't need to get the prime aims by doing it. This one's wife cites Smart Works, which supports women to enter the workforce, and the Hub Community Kitchen at Grenfell. But like Invictus, both initiatives happened when she was in the firm. Since Megxit, what have they actually done? They've shown up and done opera, they've shown up and done Netflix, shown up and gone spare, shown up and sued The Sun, the Daily Mail and the Mirror. They've showed up at awards ceremonies, but only ones in which they are recipients, and shown up in near-catastrophic car chases that the police say never actually happened. They've shown up and self-promoted, shown up and complained about invasion of privacy, while invading their relatives' privacy. As a result of their behaviour, they've been shown up on South Park and Family Guy. But with their popularity having tanked both here and in the United States, none of it seems to have done them much good, let alone anyone else. It's a shame, because they could make a difference, if only they could get over themselves, which, as we all know, is never going to happen. The perception of Harry and this one's wife as a couple who do more harm than good has got to change if this rebrand is going to live up to his magisterial pretensions. And of course, pausing there at the end of the article, therein lies the problem. They aren't going to change. She's incapable of doing so. Her narcissism will never allow it to happen. It's quite clear that she can't let go of the royal family because it provides meaning for her for without it, she is a complete nobody. A few views below the line. Jim Beam, basically they are idiots and the vast majority of the world can see this. Martin S., such a feminist and supporter of all women. Why not Jewish raped and sexually abused women, this one's wife? Guess we don't matter. Terry Smith, the royal connection is their currency in Tinseltown. They are nobodies without it. This one's wife knows it. Harry isn't so quick on the uptake. Alan Wells, a pair of leeches sucking all they can out of a family they hate. Kirsty Watt, oh for goodness sake, we don't care about those two morons. Please stop writing articles about them. Major Tifto, imagine waking every day to a barrage of personal criticism and derision. One has to marvel at their resilience. Abigail Longshot, is this one's wife still patron of the UK's Mayhew Dog Sanctuary? I'd remove her patronage PDQ if I were representing that organisation. Can't be doing them any favours. Gaynor Evans, whether her ego will allow her to recognise the fact or not, her public profile, such as it is down to her marriage and subsequent conduct. In this country, it amounts to its consequences for her husband's family and her offspring. As an individual, she fails to do anything to remedy her appalling conduct or her brainwashed, embittered husband. Her conduct has rendered herself a woman of no importance to anyone who values integrity. E. Hatfield responds, she'll put it down to racism and sexism. Hillary Clinton seemed convinced that she didn't win simply because she was female. They are deluded. The last word to Alison Chester, who understands this is what narcissists do. Harry is to be pitied. An article demonstrating the way that this one's wife can't let go of the royal family despite claiming that she wants to do so, once again demonstrating her hypocrisy and the fact that she is nobody without the royal connection. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.